ending it, I mean, as fast as we can between these games today. As Debre, the spooky GeoGuessr guy, over there left on your screen. We're already in this gun. We are in Southside Sweden now, as you can see. Swamgambit behind, but now not by as much as he was just a moment ago.
Nope, not at all. It was almost flawless pace there. We obviously don't know what happened, but at least we will see how it's gonna turn to the end. We are in round 6 already, and guess what? We are back in India.
A lot of India in this seed. I feel like if you don't know you're India, you're not gonna be in for a good time. We've had a lot of it.
If you play in this league, you definitely have to learn India.
Yeah.
It's just way too big and just too much.
Honestly, if you don't know India, you probably didn't qualify here to begin with. So.
Maybe.
Further north than where they both guessed. I feel like that's been the case a couple of times thus far, as finally Swamgambit able to strike back and now set himself in the lead over Debre. Debre, I feel like a very momentum-heavy player. Sometimes frustrations can get to him, but we've also oftentimes seen him get just 1 or 2 good guesses in, and he becomes practically unbeatable.
Yeah, that's what it's coming down to, or can come down to, and we are in South Africa, also a country we have seen in a couple games today. We have those mountain ranges very close to the city. You see in a lot of suburbs of Cape Town. So, who's gonna pick the right one?
Yeah. Debre saying, you know what, I will take those extra 15 seconds. Go a bit further off towards the east, but doesn't matter. Swamgambit on point again. 1800 damage done, sending Debre down now to just over 1,000.
Yeah, I'm surprised he went that far outside, because I feel like if the mountains are this close to you in a big city, you should be a bit closer to Cape Town, but of course you can also see it a bit further outside, and that's what did cost him a couple points. We are in Kazakhstan. Who knows the roads?
We'll see. Hopefully they both do. We have yet to see a 10k. We've
a
actually only had one 5k today. Maybe a 10k in the lineup.
Was it 1? I think it was more, right? It's like 2, 3. I feel like we had more.
I'm not sure, but doesn't matter. Debre right here gets taken down 2 rounds in a row, but strikes back massively here in this one. Taking out Swamgambit with a swift 9k damage done hit. And that's taken us in now to game number 2 into no move.
Yes, and Kazakhstan is also definitely one of those countries you definitely have to learn.
Yeah.
Because with how limited and how learnable the country is, if you put that in relation to how big the country is and how many points you can potentially gain off that, it's just a no-brainer to definitely learn Kazakhstan.
In Japan,
and we have this arrow on the pole,
but
which is a region-specific thing. It's a Chugoku region.
Is there enough info to get more specific lockdown off of the pole, or?
We have this body of water. So after you know you are in Chugoku, there is still a bunch of regions, but yeah. I don't know if this will lead to the ocean or if it's just a big river. It's maybe a bit too big for a river, so I feel like we are close to the ocean.
Debre went more inland, like kind of last second, the flick of his mouse there. We'll see if that comes to hurt him or not, as they're both somewhat inland. Actually, it's all the way down towards Okayama.
That is pretty far east, and Swamgambit definitely knew something Okayama specific. Because that's a commitment there.
Yeah.
Because I know Swamgambit practiced Japan. I know that. Therefore, I feel like he knew something.
Practice pays off. Debre insta-sends it towards Adelaide. Hasn't committed fully to the guess, though. Just the early vibes. Sending him down there, and now Swamgambit is there too.
Those, again, we have those sandy shoulders along the road, combined with the vegetation. It's very South Australian, but again, it's a very hard state to region guess. You've seen it
both in
not the first time today.
In and around the right area. As we now take it into round 3 so far. Swamgambit taking both these first 2 rounds, but Not really too much damage to write home about as this third round, Geolotus. What are you thinking? They're going Turkey.
Yes, I do agree, and I also do like their guesses. Actually, I like Debre's guess. It could be a bit further south of that. Could also be a bit further southeast, a bit further southwest, but I definitely like Debre's guess a lot.
Right in between Istanbul and Ankara. Seems like Swamgambit is going to go a bit further east. It was actually west side Istanbul. So on the European side of things.
Yep. It's very unlikely because you barely have any mountains west of Istanbul. There's just a couple along the coast there. So that made it a bit unlikely to be there.
And look where we are.
And we have...
Do you get the city
Latin
on that
script.
green up there?
We have. I don't know what it's saying though.
K-H-A something. K-H-U. I'm not sure.
Marty.
I think it's cool. I think Swamgambit has the city.
I think Debre is on the city as well. So really shouldn't
a bit further up towards the north.
Any points.
Nah.
Even if it was, it would have been like, what, 50 points instead? I don't know, but...
True. Close enough.
Still important to get it. Still important to get it right, at least the right region.
Well, let's see now. Salt Lake City is where Debre is hovering early on. I don't see a whole lot of moments in frame, but maybe they're there.
Big Dry Valley. I thought this could even be California. We don't have the California stripes on the pole. Happens sometimes. I could also just be wrong. That also happens sometimes.
It's rare. More rare than me, but it happens. At least you don't get UK on a South Africa round, you know?
No. I could see myself doing that. I could see myself doing that. Therefore...
Well, it's round number 5. Debre sits with a pretty decent lead thus far. As he's now just going to go... Nope, at least I thought initially he was just going to send it straight in between the 4 states, but not to be. It is going to be in Utah, south side of Salt Lake City, but great guess nonetheless.
Yeah, a very diverse looking state, I must say. Utah has it all. Also, a state that has been covered in very different seasons, which makes it look way different from time to time.
This antenna looks unique. Is it unique enough to pinpoint the region that you're in?
I didn't pay attention to the antenna, but
it's like
rolling hill landscape.
Regular antenna with a bit of red next to it. There you see it on Swamgambit's screen. I just with like the small bit of red made me think that maybe there was something
small
specific.
bit of red. That's not helpful.
Okay.
That can happen. That can happen in a lot of places.
Okay.
The brake light. Well, in Kaliningrad, you almost always see it. So therefore, you know, if you don't see it, you can maybe rule out Kaliningrad. But besides that...
Barely even zooming in here. Wanted to send it in between Kazan and Moscow. Debre went further east, and that's going to be the 2-0 come through. Swamgambit taken down. Debre with 2 big hits. 1 in moving, 1 in no move. Secures the 2-0, secures the 3 points, and stays ahead.
Yep, Swan